Hello everyone and welcome to this new video, which is going to be rather short because today we are focusing on one specific aspect of Riftbound, one of the core mechanics of the game, the Rune deck. From the list I've seen, be it online decks, Twitter decks, tournament winning decks, I don't think people have really dug into what it means to build a Rune deck, and I'm going to show you the two main tools that I use to build and fine-tune my own Rune decks. So before we jump onto our main topic, if you like this video, make sure to let me know by clicking the like button or telling me into the comments, and maybe I do have some other ideas of concept to bring to you. So this is a Locks decklist that we built on stream last Wednesday, and I built it using a very specific website, which is Piltover archive. So as you can see, the interface of the website is pretty cool. You have access to a very useful deck builder to create your decks, access every card you could potentially play using your color combination. And you also have access to a very powerful tool, which is the statistics zone. So if you watch the right side of my screen right now, the website generated a bunch of statistics for me to analyze regarding the deck list I just built. And this goes from energy curve, which is the amount of cards I can play on any required number of energy. So I have 6 cards that cost 1 energy, and then 9 cards which cost 2 energy, and so on and so on. 2 card type distributions such as pairs, units, gears, and even sample hands that you could use to see what a random hand of your deck would look like and if it seems playable to you. But today what we are going to focus on is the power distribution of our deck list. So this little graphic just right there shows us how much power we will need to burn if we were to use every card in our deck. So in the entirety of our deck, we do have 14 yellow power burns and 9 blue power burns. Quick note, but this does not count hidden, as you could burn both a yellow or a blue rune to hide a card. So cards like Hidden Blade in this deck list do not appear as a burn for the hidden feature in this graphic, but they do appear for the power that burn when they are played from hand. So this Hidden Blade, which is 3 cards in the deck list, appears as 3 yellow burns in the deck list. So slight majority of yellow power to burn, slight majority of yellow runes in the rune deck. We go 7 yellow, 5 blue, and that's it, no? Well, that could be it, but sometimes it gets a little bit more complicated. So this is my area list that I've recently had success with, and I posted a whole video about the deck building process of this list on the channel already, so feel free to watch it if you've not done so. And thanks to Piltover Archive's great tool, we can see that if I were to go through my whole deck, I would be burning 10 blue runes and 5 green runes. Which, quick math, means 66% of the power that I burn would be blue runes. But if we go back to the top of this list, you will see that I'm playing 7 blue runes and 5 green runes. Whereas if I was playing 66% of my runes as blue runes, I would be on 8 blue runes and 4 green runes. So why did I pick only 7 blue runes? Well, there's a very logical explanation, and it's because of one of the key interactions of green decks in the format, which is Defy. So quick reminder, Defy is a card that for 1 energy and 1 green power allows you to counter any spell that has a power cost of 1 or less and an energy cost of 4 or less. And there are a lot of very key spells that you want to defy in the early game in several matchups that are rather represented in the metagame. So to help you understand better, I'm going to pick one specific example, which is Catalyst of Ions, a card that is very important for the strategy of both Mastery and Misfortune, 2 of the best decks in the format. So let's jump to our second tool of the day, the hypergeometric calculator. You could basically use any hypergeometric calculator available on the internet, but I do like StatTrak because the user interface is very simple and it's very quick at giving me the answers I need. Now, if you scroll down a bit, you're going to be facing a lot of boxes you will need to fill for the calculator to do the work for you. Let's take the catalyst scenario and transform it into numbers the calculator is able to understand. So I'm playing Ari, my opponent is on a Ram deck, which could very well use catalysts on his 4 mana turn, and he is going first, which means he's going to have 2 energy, then I will have 3 to answer, and then he goes to 4 and can potentially play Catalyst. In this situation, my goal will be to use 2 out of the 3 energies that I have to drop a unit, and then keep 1 mana open during his turn, so if he goes Catalyst, I could Defy. But to do that, I would also need to have one of the 3 runes that I revealed to be green, so I can pay for the power cost of Defy. Now that we've established the scenario, you will see that it's very easy to translate it into numbers for the calculator. So this probability setting you don't need to change, this one is perfect. The population size is basically your deck size. So in this case, I'm talking about runes. My rune deck is 12 runes, so I'm going to put 12 in this box. Then the number of successes in population is the amount of green runes in my rune deck. I want to know the odds of flipping at least 1 green rune so I could use Defy. So I will tell the calculator there are that many runes in my rune deck that are considered as success I've flipped a green rune. So in this case, if we go back to my list, we do have 5 green runes in the rune deck, so we will just put 5 in this box. Then the sample size will be the amount of cards you're going to reveal, hoping to find what you're looking for. So in this case, we're going to flip 3 runes as I'm going second, but you could also very well use this calculator to calculate the odds of opening a specific cards, and like say I have 5 cards in hand, how many chances do I have to see this specific card from my main deck? But for this case, we're going to go with 3, the number of runes I will flip at the beginning of my turn. And then the number of successes in sample is the number of green runes I need to see for the operation to be a success. So this time I only need 1 green rune, I'm going to put 1, but if you were to need 2 like blue runes to use singularity maybe, you could put 2 as the number of successes in sample needed to activate your card. So this time we'll use 1. And then you just have to scroll down a bit and let the calculator do the rest for you. And now we're going to focus on one box, which is this one, the cumulative probability of x being over or equal to 1, and the result is 0.84. So remember that before we made it so this x variable means a rune which has been flipped is green. And in this case, this result right here is the amount of chances at least 1 or more green rune has been flipped. And 0.84 means there's an 84% chance that we flip a green rune every time we flip 3 runes at the beginning of the game. So basically 8 to 9 games out of 10 we would be able to defy the catalyst of ions in this particular spot. But now let's remember what I told you at the beginning. If we were only following Piltover Archives interface, we would have 66% of blue runes, which would mean 8 blue runes, and now 4 green runes instead of 5. So what happens if I put 4 in this box, which is once again the amount of green runes in my mana deck. So now we would just have to scroll down and hit calculate, and you can see that this results of flipping a green rune went from 84% chance, which is like once again 8 or 9 games out of 10 to flip a green rune, to almost 75% chances, which is 3 games out of 4. Conclusion, just adding a single green rune to my mana deck will allow me to use Defy on 3 mana, 2 games out of 10 more than if I was on 4 green rune, which is an enormous impact, because basically you go to 6.5, 7 games out of 10 to 8.5, 9 games out of 10, and it could literally win you a best of 3 match just because you could or couldn't defy. Now of course this hypergeometric calculator tool is wonderful and allows you to do so much more, so if you guys would be interested to see me explain more details about this tool, let me know down in the comments and I'll think about doing another video. And I can already hear some of you being like, what would you go to such lengths for a TCG? It's just RNG, pure luck, you will draw what you will draw. Well, think about poker, guys. The best poker player in the world are the guys who know maths and who calculate everything based on odds. So sometimes you could be betrayed by odds, but most of the time this is the most realistic tool you can use to estimate what's going to happen in most of your games. That's it for this short video. I hope you learned something, and if it's the case, feel free to leave a like. It was Katchouze, and I'll see you in the next video.